Hello, ladies and germs. Um, I have a little something different here to make me look more professional. Gotta look professional. Okay, professional. I could just hear somebody now saying, "Stop talking like a baby." Well, anyway, I look more professional, I guess. More like a radio. Something? What are they called? Dispatcher? Or no, talk show host. There you go. That's it. Okay. Well, what are we going to talk about? I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Hey, a new forum. What? Where's my finger? What do you want to talk about? I don't hear anybody saying, I want to talk about this. No, I want to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this. That's because we're not connected. Anyway, hey, I know what we could talk about. We could talk about John Titor. Who the heck is John Titor? Well, that's been a question on everybody's lips for the last, 12 years? 10 to 12 years? Let me make one disclaimer. I don't know if I believe in this or not. My heart says, oh, I wish time travel was true. And all of this was true. I would just love to believe in it. But there's another part of my brain that says, this is a bunch of baloney. Yeah, right. But, it's still interesting conversation. It would make a wonderful science fiction story. But I don't know where I stand on it yet. I just want to discuss the possibilities. And I always love the possibilities. But anyway, who is John Titor? Well, John Titor is supposed to be a man that travels through time, a time traveler. And he's supposed to be from the year 2036. Give or take a year. But this is what the claim was. But in the year 2000, I believe it was, he came forward in a scientific forum and announced himself as John Titor and that he was a time traveler from the year 2036, and he began to lay out all the things that would happen in the future. Funny thing is, some of them you can disclaim right away, but some of them came true. So that's what's kind of creepy. There's been a lot of people in YouTube that have said that there is proof that this is a hoax. All I know is that this one group, I think it's called Eyes View, that went through all the phone numbers and addresses that were left by these people that said it was a hoax, that this is where you could find Larry Heber, I think that's his name, Heber, and you can possibly lead it to John Titor, and Toto too. Anyway, I've got the website right up in front of me right now, and the last time it was updated was 2011, Monday, April 4th, 2011, at 1 a.m. The interviews that are mostly on this are with Oliver Williams on the show Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. They've never had any interviews with John Titor himself. They say with his mother. Some YouTube videos say that there's a girlfriend. Well, I don't know. But anyway, I just find it really interesting that somebody could possibly come from the year 2036. Let me say right away that I am a Christian. I have no problem saying that. They say that John Titor, the time traveler, is also a Christian. But a lot of people would say, how can God be in control if there are so many different dimensions of time? Okay, let me explain. If anybody saw Back to the Future, remember the time in part 2 where Doc is trying to explain to Marty what has happened to their present time, where I think it's Biff is owner of a casino and is rich and is controlling most of the city, and so many things have changed. But the Doc said that there has been a tangent in the line, and let me explain it this way. Time is, the way we see it, is one-way street going in one line, going towards the future. Say 10 minutes from now, an hour from now, a month from now, or whatever, that's going towards the future. And I think the tangent and the paradox, well, no, not a paradox, I'm sorry, any dimensional timeline, when John or whoever creates or created time travel, as soon as they turned that on and they used it, that they have created multiple dimensions. And the way that many people from this website, and I think it's Oliver Williams, described it, is that if you look into a barbershop mirror and you're sitting there in the barbershop chair and you look at those mirrors, like they're angled different frequency, all sides. You look at the right and the middle and the left, you see multiple people in that. That is basically what a multiple dimension is. Once somebody has changed, even breathed the air from another time that doesn't really belong to them, they've changed that line. So that's why some of the predictions that John made, or if he did make, don't come true, and some of them do, because he has created a new timeline. It is said that he went back to 1975 to get a 5100 IBM computer to use to do something, I guess, to create the time. No, that's the time machine's already created. So it had to be some other thing that they wanted it for. But when he went back to 75, he made a change in our timeline, where in his timeline, Y2K happened. You remember what Y2K is? That in 1999, and New Year's in 1999, that we were all afraid that the computers were going to stop and the electricity or whatever was going to stop and all electronics was going to fail, but it didn't happen. He is saying that he went back in 1975 and did something that changed that, where we didn't have Y2K, which their Y2K brought on a civil war. And it was supposed to have started, I believe, in 2005. here it is 2012, and we had no Y2K, and we had no Civil War yet. But he said many things were changed in our timeline. So the only thing that I'm having a problem with here is that they say that he's come back like the year 2000 and 2001, even maybe in 1998 at first, and then he started making his posts in 2000 and to 2001. If the timelines change every time you or he, John Titor, goes through time, then you can never come back to the same time again because you've changed it. So how can he come back to our same timeline for the year 2000 and 2001, considering their technical and scientific proof that they state? I don't know if anybody, of course I've not read and listened to everything that they've had to say about John Titor, but I have not yet heard anything about this. But still, because he changed things, then it would have to be another John Titor from another timeline that would come here, and he wouldn't know about the others unless, I don't know. But I find this very interesting. Let me tell you a little bit about his website. It's at www.johntitor.com. He has a couple things set up here. He has on the left side, he has a column that says John Titor Story, Site News, Worldline 2036, Time Travel, Civil War, 5100 Computer, Civil Rights, U.S. Government, Mad Cow Disease, Catastrophes, and the original Titor information. And that's where he made his posts on these chat sites. The thing about chat sites or chat rooms is people could say just about anything. Say who they are, they could be a phony person, But the thing about the things that John said, you have to be a freaking genius to come up with all this stuff. I'm sure there's very smart people, but most smart people don't have a lot of time to sit around and make up stuff. But, I've read a lot. I haven't gone through the whole website because there's really a lot there. But I've read through a lot of it, and it is very, very good read. Okay, it's very interesting. I don't care if it's true or not. It's still a good read. And it's very interesting. And some of the things that he says has come true. I really can't say them off the top of my head right now, but I believe there was the thing about the mad cow, some earthquakes that I believe that were predicted that came, and some political things that still happened that he predicted. But what I read was very, very intriguing. I know that I would really like to believe this with all my heart. It would not change anything about what I believe in God, about anything in my religion, because God is in control of everything as far as I'm concerned. And if there's time travel, God's in control of it. If he wants us to time travel, we will time travel. If you don't want us to, we will not. And we will never develop it. That's how I believe. He has put on his site some pictures of his time machine. I don't understand anything about electronics or technical design or anything like that. To me it looks like a radio, but it's a radio with a chair and some kind of vehicle. And I believe there's more than one. Let me look at this one part of the website that talks about time travel. He does mention, one of the more fascinating predictions he made was about CERN, CERN, in Russia. I believe it's in Russia. But they have developed a collider that is supposed to create a wormhole. And he talked and predicted about all this. And this was, he even predicted putting video on the internet, which was, he talked about in the year 2000, which had not. YouTube wasn't even around then, if I'm right. If I'm wrong, somebody prove me wrong. That's some of the things that were really convincing. The CERN collider. The Air Force has been working on a teleportation physics report, and which a gentleman or an author by the name of Eric Davis says psychic teleportation, moving yourself from one location to location through, and mind powers. This, I don't know about this. Quantum teleportation, like Quantum Leap. I tend to think of this whole story as kind of like Sliders. If you ever watched that TV show, I used to watch it all the time, loved it. And I am a time travel freak. I like anything, books, movies that talk about time travel. And this is just intrigues the heck out of me. Let me see. He says that time travel will be created in, or will be created. Let me see. Oh, he doesn't say. He just says what it is. The C204 is created. And in the atomic clock, let me go down a little bit more. Bear with me, I'm scrolling through the website to see what I can find here. John's CERN prediction finds a supporter. Let's see. Well, let me just read it. It says, "Hi. First of all, thanks for the great website. I listen to Coast AM frequently, and that's how I first discovered your website and the John Titor story. On Coast to Coast AM on the 13/10/04 show, Christopher Knight, Understanding Freemasonry, the subject briefly changed to time travel as a means of explaining how ancient technology, advanced civilizations, came about. Christopher announces that 2 years' time, CERN will be conducting an experiment demonstrating the possibility of traveling backwards in time. Knowing the John Titor story, the hair on the back of my neck stood right up." Well, let me see. It said, there's a question: is John's time machine technology closer than we think? Amazingly, scientists are becoming increasingly confident that they will be able to create black holes on demand in quantity and using the new atom smashers due to come online in the next 5 years. Now, this was 2004, so that would be 2009. Some estimates suggest that the new Large Hadron Collider at the European Center for Nuclear Research, CERN, will be able to create an average of one black hole each second. Now, it says that LHC, in capital letters, will bombard protons and untie protons together with such a force that the collision will create temperatures and energy densities not seen since the first trillionth of a second after the Big Bang. I don't believe in the Big Bang, but, this should be enough to pop off numerous tiny black holes with masses of just a few hundred protons. Okay, well, that's just to give you a sample of what is discussed. He's got posts by date, by November 2000, December, January 2001, February 2001, March 2001, and his predictions from November 2000, December 2000, and January 2001, and his picks of his time machine. There's 3 of them, cutaway and a logo and a form. John links and some media, editorials, and a way to contact them, some archives, but I just find this fascinating. If anyone would like to maybe, I don't know if there's a way that you can upload a video for me with your response that I could put in my forum, or if you just want to email something to me, my email address is mhossman, Hosman, all small caps, no caps, just all small letters, 11 at att.net. That's mhossman 11 at att.net. Okay, if anybody wants to respond to this, which would be really awesome, if Oliver or John Haber, his lawyer, which let me see if I can find anything on his lawyer. Now, Oliver Williams is the one that created his website. He has never personally met John Titor. And John Haber is his lawyer, or his family's lawyer, during this time. Now, I would like to bring up some other things, but I just wanted to get this rolling to see what would happen. If anybody wants to email me a video response, or just an email, or write a letter, or whatever, please do so. And we'll talk about this again, and I thank you for your time. This is just the beginning for this video blog, I guess you could say. Okay, so this is Mark Hossman signing out.